This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 21, ABC FYI.
Hey.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm John Miller, joined today with Ben Clark out in Colorado. How you doing, Ben?
What's up, John? Hey from Telluride.
Also, want to welcome back to the show Lawang Dondup out in California. How you doing, Lawang?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing fantastic. So, this episode, we are going to really take a really good hard look around Advanced Base Camp. I think, Ben, everything in this episode was filmed by you.
Oh, yeah.
I was still down in base camp taking care of some other matters. So this is pretty much what Ben was looking at once he arrived at Advanced Base Camp. And I didn't edit it very much. I kind of wanted to keep it raw. It kind of just looks like Ben looking around. So you'll all be looking around with Ben. So let's head up to 21,000 foot Advanced Base Camp on the north side of Mount Everest. Here we go.
Nice, there it is. ABC, Advanced Base Camp. Looks like a balmy, overcast day there.
So is this looking out from right about where your tent was, Ben?
Yeah, I think so. It's looking up towards, I guess up towards the North Pole.
Lots of prayer flags up there. And you can see that it
This is right in front of the cook tent.
yeah, right in front of the cook tent. It gets a little bit more snow than base camp did. It's up a little bit higher than base camp, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's a pile of rocks in the background there, right in the bottom middle of the screen. That is the toilet.
Mm-hmm. Nice spot. Just a random sump hole.
Hey, Lawang, how did you guys choose where to set up camp?
Oh, it kind of like pretty much depends on like whoever gets there first to get the better spot. So you don't have to make like a lot of like the level up for the camping site.
Sure.
And then also it has to be protected. So it's pretty much like we had this shirt like the Takwanuru and Angdawa. They've been on the Everest north side so many times, so they know the spot. So we picked that. It's pretty nice. Like it's a little bit sheltered and pretty nice, yeah. And you could see like the rest of the camp too.
Were we one of the last teams to get up there, though?
No, I think we were kind of like in middle, right, Ben?
Yeah, we were there pretty decent, yeah.
Yeah, pretty decent. There were like some other people coming like behind us. But seems to be more people going north side like last year and year before because of the prices and all this accessibility, because you could drive all the way to the base camp and things like that. It's a little easier. And then also permit-wise, it's a little less expensive.
Yep. A little tougher on summit day maybe, but a hell of a good time getting in there.
Lawang, what's your favorite side of the mountain?
I think I like the north side because of you don't have to get up too early. Just get up when the light comes. On the south side, you have to get up really early in the morning, like 3:30 at the beginning, like the beginning of the season. But the ice fall and some other factor, which you don't really have to do from the north side. But the same thing, the summit day is pretty long and also more kind of like harder part of like the whole climb is like on the last summit day. So I think it's like, I think even up everything. What do you think, Ben?
I think north side's the way to go, man. It's pretty straightforward. You can see the route the whole time, and if you can, once you accept the fact it's just be cold and windy all the time, it's not that bad a climb. Summit day is fun. It's a little more exposure, looking out. I think we were looking over across the Cancun to the south side, looking at people on the south summit. I was looking at it and going, man, I'm glad that we're over here in the rocks. Like, it just seemed like a lot more fun overall. And then it was easy to get out of there too. I mean, we didn't have to. Once we were back at base camp, we just hopped in the truck and drove out of there. That was useful.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about from the north side. The other thing is, like, when you climb from north side, if anything happens, the ridge is pretty long. Like, even coming down from the summit day down to and then you spend more time kind of up high. At least you spend like 2 nights guaranteed above like 8,300 meters. The last game is, which is like the South Pole is like not even 8,000 meters. It's like 979 something, and so I think the main kind of like altitude factor comes like above like 8.3, 8.4 makes big difference. So
yeah.
So, what are we looking at here exactly, Ben? Do you know?
Bits and pieces of the North Ridge, or Northeast Ridge, as it comes back down to the the Von Buch, and then over on the other side of it, this is the North Col. This is the icefall, kind of hanging glacier that we climbed up to get to access the North Ridge, where our first camp was at 23,000 feet.
Yeah, and those little dots there are all climbers ascending or descending the North Col. So that gives you a little bit of scale. It's much larger than it can appear at first glimpse on the video here, once you see how small people are.
It's rough the first couple of times. Once you acclimatize, you can cruise. Long, you and Lachlan got up there in what, like an hour and 40 minutes, or like an hour and 15 minutes once? You guys were flying.
Yeah, once you will acclimatize, it's pretty mellow.
Yeah, it's quick.
And like you don't have to worry too much about like there like if it's snow a lot, then a little bit like avalanche danger. There is a kind of history saying that accident happened at the north, going towards the North Pole, but not bad as like the Lhotse phase.
Seems pretty safe. Seems stable too. I mean, for all those seracs and whatnot, nothing ever really peeled off that thing.
Well, Ben, you say that Lawang and Lakpa cruised up in an hour and 15 minutes or so. How fast is that? What was the first climb? How long did it take for you guys?
I think it took me probably 5 or 6 hours. Just long. I wouldn't. We've been there like 5 or 6 days, and so we cruised up there, and I was just beat when I got up there. And then by the last time, like fast on it, most people say if you can get up there within 4 hours, you'll probably make the summit. That's a good indicator. And then I think the last time I went up, I just kind of casually went up in 3 hours. It was way faster that time. But it's really a matter of just acclimatizing. It's really not, it's not that burly. And this is just random stuff in the icefall kind of accumulated down there.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's glacial ice.
Yeah, old blue ice.
You mentioned in a previous episode that when you were sharpening your crampons that you were sharpening them to help punch through the bulletproof ice. And when I see this footage, you can tell that ice looks rock hard.
Yeah, that stuff's old. I mean, it's probably pretty solid. But we didn't encounter anything too nasty up high. It was pretty easy cramponing.
That's another... sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Lola.
When you climb from north side, it's good to have like an extra crampon because you kind of like above 7 9, it's kind of rock, but there are some patches of snow and ice, so you can't really take off the crampon. But when you put on your crampon, it's kind of like a lot of mix, mainly rock. So people break their crampon a lot.
Okay, so this is one of the meals you guys were having up at Advanced Base Camp.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Dima.
Boca, yep. Now this is before we brought the larger tent up. You guys were pretty crammed in there.
Yeah, we had this big Chinese army tent. That was pretty nice until we got like blown by a big wind. Do you remember, Ben? That
Yeah,
it was
man.
drawn like you have everything been kind of like pretty mess.
Yeah, what Lawang's talking about, everyone, is there was quite a windstorm that happened in probably about a week and a half from this point here. And it was one of the largest anyone had ever remembered. You'll see all about that in future episodes because quite a lot happened. It was pretty dramatic. But this tent here was replaced in about a week with a larger tent that was brought up when the rest of us traveled up from base camp to advanced base camp, and we switched tents. This tent ended up being the cooking tent down at base camp for the rest of the trip.
Yeah, apparently at that time the weather forecast, they were saying that jet stream were moving like pretty close to the Everest, so that's why we got like 5 or 6 days like a really strong wind and blown a lot of things out.
I like this shot here. This shows that this is where the water comes from. It's actually all starts out as ice. And Lawang, can you explain why pressure cookers are used really frequently up there?
I think it kind of like saves time and also the fuel. It cooks much faster than the just regular kind of like a cooking in an open pot, the pressure cooker. And then a lot of like the main staple diet for Sherpas are like the rice and lentil. So, and then we cook a lot of like lentil in the pressure cooker.
You guys had meat up there.
Oh yeah, a little bit meat. It's good to have some protein. Keep us moving.
Mm-hmm.
You guys must have been eating machines up there. You must have been burning just thousands and thousands of calories per day, making carries up the North Col and everything.
Yeah, a lot of calories burning through that trip, man. Burn off all those hamburgers I ate before I went.
Now, Ben, the situation here is that you are the only person whose primary language is English.
Yeah.
Up here at ABC in this tent. Was that difficult?
No, I just smile a lot and laugh. It's not uncommon to find me being the only English-speaking person in a lot of places, and I usually just smile and laugh. Works for me.
So that right there is the North Col, and we will be climbing it in a couple of episodes. So I want to probably wrap this one up here, and I want to thank both of you guys for being on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it's my pleasure.
All right, so next episode, we do some French cooking, and you'll see why I call it that when you watch next week's episode. And then after that episode, we climb the North Col, and we get some altitude under our feet. So hope you guys enjoy these coming episodes. There's a lot more to show you. There's just so much cool stuff coming up. So please stay tuned, and we will see you next time. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.